All right, guys, we're at part 2 of the ultimate relationship training. Real fast. Again, this is something that I want to thank you guys for jumping on. And you guys asked for this stuff. The last one was something that I don't really teach as much. This one is something that we actually go over specifically at selection on our business day. No, I'm sorry, not on the business day, but on the communication relationship day, which is day 2. And this is so important because not only does this matter as it relates to your marriage and your relationship or your connection and how you speak and communicate to other people, let's say business or even your kids, this matters, period, of how you are with you. This allows you to move past where you are and to communicate even with yourself effectively. And like I always say, and you're going to hear me always say, this has just been my experience. I just learned to put it in a model that you guys can get and shorten the learning curve because I learned this shit over years and a bunch of different people and teachers and classes and seminars and shit. But this is good. This is how I did it and this worked. I can only come from my experience and how I've used it. And if it didn't work for me, I won't fucking teach it. So I call this the ride, right? Or effective communication. You guys read that? Good enough. All right, so that's how that works. So how many of you guys have ever been in a situation, and I'm going to paint a picture for you, and that's how we do the ride anyway. So this is what's called the ride. I'm just going to erase that so I have some space. Cool? All right. So typically what happens, and you've seen this before, so something happens, we have our patterns plus thoughts, plus our thoughts, plus feelings, plus actions equals results. You guys know this, all right? This is the manifestation of all shit. Everything happens in your inside world, you take action, and then it comes into your outside world, right? So we live in a world of dualities. There's inside, there's outside. There's right, there's wrong. There's left, there's right. There's light, there's dark. Everything has an alternative, or there's an dual side of everything. Cool? So this is usually how shit happens. We call it the shit happens formula as well. But this is the emotional roller coaster and ineffective communication and how to not be on it. What happens is, usually, like if you picture a seesaw, seesaws balance pretty straight if they're just there. There's no weight, right? But let's say a situation happens on this side. Patterns, you know, like you get in the pattern. Like I said, your mind creates a story. The mind, goes back to its beliefs. The mind says, oh, wait a minute, because this happened to you in the past. What are you going to do? All based in fear. Fear of whatever. Like I said, be either overwhelmed and it's just fear of not getting shit done. Maybe she said this to me, and you're like, hey, she's going to piss me off because the last time we went through this. All stacking more weight on your side. Triggering a thought. That thought triggers a feeling. Cool? And what happens when there's more weight on one side of a seesaw and there's nothing on the other side? This thing goes this way, right? So once this happens, it shoots you over here. And as we look at feelings, I always say there's only a few feelings you can go with. Happy, right? Pissed. Or angry. Whatever, angry. Right? You can be sad. Right? So pissed and angry are the same thing. I just like pissed. I'm pissed. Right? Happy, sad, angry. You can go, I say sexual or creative. Sexual is usually creative, like I said, to create something, usually from a man and a woman, you become sexual, or inquisitive, or you're curious, right? All those different things. Something that's involved in creativity, right? I'm trying to think what the last one was. Anyways, let's just use these. Happy, sad, angry, creative, and I can't remember the other. Cool. So, in this situation, what happens is let's say these are our feelings that usually come about. Let's use basic ass words. Like we said, simple is better. Confusing sucks. Cool? So you're happy, you're sad, you're angry, or you're creative. You're inquisitive. Like, oh, what happened? Like you're interested, right? So in this situation, I have a thought. She said this to me. I'm fucking mad. She always does this. Every time we're having a good time, it only takes a little bit. I bring up this, she brings up that. Now we're back into bam. Feelings happen. You're pissed. From being pissed, you hit this emotional roller coaster all over the place. Now, all along the lines of this emotional roller coaster, if you picture a roller coaster, can you guys see this? Usually it starts off, goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. I want you to picture that like this. Cool? So, at any point in this thing, you are spiraling all over the place. And in that spiral, we'll do the roller coaster thing. This is what I do at the events. So the roller coaster goes up and down. At any one of these points where you're hitting, boom, you're going up. Man, she always does this. She always does this. Every time she does this, I'm pissed off. Bam, and you go down here. Now, in these circles, you're only going to be a couple of different things. You're going to be a victim. You're going to be a hero. Or you can be a villain. Right. So, along the ride of this emotional roller coaster, a thought happens, a feeling happens, this feeling sends you into being happy, pissed, angry, sad, sexual, whatever the case may be. Along the ride of this thing, you're going to be one of these if you don't catch it. If you ride the ride all the way into this dip area, you're going to be here. So, let's say you ride the ride, she starts an argument with you over some shit you didn't take the trash out, something stupid, right? And she goes, you didn't take the trash out, and your mind kicks in fear, right? Frustration. Frustration happens. All of a sudden you're pissed, like, fuck, man, all I did was do this thing. I didn't take the fucking trash out. One time she brings this shit up. She always fucking does this. And all of a sudden she goes here and goes there, and now you're pissed. So, but in this situation, what are you, the villain? Well, I'm the bad guy because I was trying to fucking do this, and she's mad because I didn't take the trash out. What the fuck? Why am I the bad guy? Every time I try to do right, I'm still wrong. You're the villain, right? Or you're the victim. Shit. I'm always wrong. You always do this to me. Or I'm the hero. So what do you want me to do? What do you want? I'll do all of it. You tell me what you want me to do. I will fix this. I got us. Don't worry about it anymore. I'll take. All of these patterns are run, especially when they're patterns. These are just the patterns that you run, and you kind of spiral in and out. So something happens, it triggers a thought. That thought triggers a feeling, one of these, and then if you ride the emotional roller coaster in and out of that dip, you're here. You're a victim, you're a villain, or you're a hero. You're a victim. Man, they always do this to me. I'm a villain. I just tried to help them, and then this happened. I'm always the fucking bad guy in this house. Or you're the hero. All I tried to do was help you. All I'm trying to do is help right now. Let me know what I need to do to help you. Let me know what I need to do to make this right. I will fix this. We will be okay. This is the typical situation. It's not always us. This is why this is effective communication. I talked about us first. Like I said, we focus on us first. The best relationship we can have is with ourselves. You need to be aware of where you are. If you are on the ride, if you're on the ride, and you engage in a conversation with yourself, in your own mind, if you argue with your mind, if you match wits with your mind, it's going to give you a story to support the pattern that you're running, to support the thoughts of fear and doubt and worry and all that. And at some point, that story is going to put you in the element of being a victim, a villain, or a hero, right? If it's someone else, and you get into a match of wits with them, you're not arguing with them, you're arguing also with their patterns, their mind, their thoughts, their feelings, their concerns. Then you will also be, they will be one of these if you're arguing. You always do this to me. You hurt me last year, and I don't know if I can take it because you hurt me, and I'm still trying to get over it, and I don't know what I can do. And here you are like, well, shit, all I did was try to help you, and now I'm the bad guy. Right? That's just general as fuck. Like, but you know, like, we've all been in that. Or, you hurt me. I'm like, okay, babe, all right. What do you want me to do? And you're buying her flowers, and you're taking her out to dinner, and she's sitting at the table at dinner, and she's like, did you and her go here? Or, have you been through this already? I mean, I don't know if I can make it. I think we just need to be apart. I just want to be alone. Like, and shit like that. You're like, all right, babe, I'm just trying to help. And then you spiral out. So this is also becomes a spiral. Here's the weird part about it. Whoever you are, they're the opposite. If you're a victim, they're a villain. If you're a hero, they become the villain. Well, I just want to help us. I'll do it. Like, no, you know what? Because if I tried to save us, every time I try to save us, so you guys turn on me. So yeah, you do it. You go, fine, I'll do it. Don't worry. It's got us coming and going if we stay on this roller coaster ride. So, what do you do? What do you do? And with this example, I want you to write down three times that this has happened in your life, and I want you to just write down, hey, look, short answers. Don't get emotionally attached to the answers. Say, hey, 3 times this has happened in my life. Yep, I did this. This happened here in my relationship. This happened here in this relationship. Or this happened one time with me. This happened with my relationship with my wife or girlfriend. This happened one time with my relationship with my employees, my boss, somebody I work with, somebody I work for, things like that. What is that for you? 3 things I want you to write them down, because knowledge is power if you use it to take action. So the only thing we're doing is we're looking at your patterns, the stories, the supportive things that keep you in this thing, so you can identify them, where they come from, and wake up like, oh shit, I do that. I've been in that situation a lot. So that way we can take the next step to understanding, right? So, how do you not get on the ride? First, how do you stay off the ride? First thing, your daily actions. It's your foundations. Here's the deal. You can actually stay off the ride by being able to maintain yourself. Because if you self-love, if you wake up, you work out, you pray, you meditate, you do all your shit, you bond with the wife, the kids, all this other stuff, you've already put a deposit into yourself. So as you get into this emotional pattern of bullshit that goes along on the ride, you can hold space. You can just sit and be quiet for a second. But if you're bubbling below the surface and you already hit your top, right? Because you haven't put any deposits in yourself, it's all been withdrawals from other people. Someone brings it up, you will shoot into being pissed fucking fast. You won't be able to stop the feelings that are bubbling below because you won't have any space. You will be fucking emotionally sad. You'll be fucking curious, like, what'd you say to me? And that'll spiral into something else. Or you'll be happy is not a bad thing, but there's certain times that you can be happy at the wrong time. You like, someone says something, you're all excited, you come home, you try to give it, yeah man, guess what happened today? This fucking happened. And the other person is on the opposite. They're fucking sad or angry, and then all of a sudden you spiral out because they say something stupid to you. You react, you have a thought, feeling, and all of a sudden you're reacting. And you like, man, I just came home happy and I told you shit. You can't even be fucking happy for me. She's like, you don't even care about my emotions. So she turns into the victim and you turn into the villain. Get it? It's a cycle. That's why the emotional roller coaster is a pad. It goes up and it goes down. And if you catch yourself on the emotional roller coaster, you have to do whatever it takes to get off of it as quickly as possible. This is how first way to either get off of it quickly or not be on it at all because you're grounded, is to already have put daily deposits, taking your daily actions every day, giving yourself some space, taking something in for you by doing your foundations, right? That's first. And then, effective communication sometimes is more about effective listening. So you become a better listener and you begin to help other people sort out how they're feeling. So feelings is the step before action. And usually, most people don't understand their feelings. They don't understand how they're feeling at the time. It's not for you to solve anybody's problems or save anybody. We lead, we don't save, right? So, if you go, cool, if you're, let's say, your wife, girlfriend, somebody's talking to you, people you care about, your kids, business partner, people who are employers, people who are above you, people below you. They're pissed. They're on the ride. And you're watching them on the ride. You can just hold space. Because you've already made a deposit in yourself. You don't need to let them trigger you. You don't need to make them trigger your pattern so you have thoughts and feelings about what's going on. So you can go, cool. And you listen. And then you do something interesting. You listen to them quietly. And you stay focused. And you go, which feeling are they having right now that's causing them to stay in this cycle? And you choose. You make it clear for them. That's why I said we keep shit simple. You go, I can understand how that can make you pissed. And they'll be like, yeah. You'd be like, yeah. You don't say that will make me pissed too. You say, I can understand how you can be pissed because of that. And you give it to them. You're like, I can understand. And they're like, no, I'm not pissed. They just did this. And then you go, okay, cool. So I can understand how that can make you like wonder why. Confused. Like you want to know what's going on and you just want some clarity. Sexual. You know, right? Inquisitive. You're like, yeah, I don't know why. I'm like, yeah, I can definitely understand that. I can see how that can get there. You're not on the ride with them. You are holding space so they can be on the ride alone. So you can be the one person of consistency in their life. One person with some clarity that you don't have to be emotionally charged because somebody else is. And then naturally, once they understand their feelings, you can be the conductor of the ride. Because then, let's look at it like this. I'll erase some of this shit. Let's say you're on a roller coaster with your kids and they're scared, but you aren't. Not that you're not scared, you're just not showing you're scared. You're not all over the fucking place scaring them worse, making them react to your new reaction based on the patterns you normally run, because you've got a handle on where those patterns come from and how to value those patterns, how to hold on to them. And then you go, cool, like you're talking to your wife, I can understand how that can make you question, but that you don't know the answer to that, I can understand how it may make you mad. Yeah, it does. It really does. And then all of a sudden they start to level off and you go, cool, so what do you want to do? And they're like, well, I don't really want to do anything. I just wanted to talk. Then you just shut the fuck up, because usually for men, we try to save people. We try to save our wives from themselves, save their wives from the problem that we see that they can't. We try to fill in the gap for them. Again, we're leaders, not saviors. So we go, cool. If she says, I don't really want to do anything, I'm just talking, just shut the fuck up. You can listen. You can hold space, because what do? We deposit it in ourselves already. We don't have to contribute to them by contributing to us first, by making ourselves feel good, by talking. We can just shut up. And then we go, cool. Or if she goes, well, I want to do this. You don't say, well, how do I help? You go, how do I support you in getting that? How can I support you in that and taking that action? How can I support you in taking that action yourself? We lead them. They're like, well, I guess if you could support me in that, you can do this while I do this. Or you can set these things up so I can do that. Because unfortunately, what most men do is they create codependency, not co-creation. So if everyone's depending on you, then what happens? You have to be the victim, villain, or the hero. If shit flies off, you get emotional, you're trapped in your feelings, you're up and down on the ride, and someone blames you because you created this space for them to be dependent on you. And then you're like, fuck, I tried, I do all this other stuff. You did that. It's your fault. Create codependency so other people can gain their own strength through their own actions, their own failures, their own rewards. And you can be there with them on the ride, not in the ride. Because when you're in the ride, then there's a problem, because you're emotionally connected too. When you're on the ride, you can ride the ride as a conductor with them and guide them to safety and support them in their next action based on understanding their feelings, giving them clarity. Right? So, the steps. Shut the fuck up. First step, shut the fuck up. Make a deposit in yourself so you don't come undone. You got to do that. That's so important. Self-love starts with you. First relationship with you. If you are already in unison, in a good relationship with yourself, there's no need for you to come undone because somebody else is adding anxiety, stress, bullshit, right? That'll be your pattern if you don't do that. So that way you're clear on your own thoughts and feelings about you. So you're willing to step into the argument, step into the dogfight with somebody else because you know you, right? People argue because they don't know themselves anymore. So when you do that, then you get people to understand, because especially if they're already off the deep end, they're already on the ride, then you go, cool. You know where they're at. You see where they're at. You're not stupid about it because you're clear. So then you go, cool, I'm going to hold space for this person. You don't tell them that. You don't tell them any of this shit. You just live it. And then you go, cool, I can understand, babe, or man, or homeboy, or employees, or boss, how that can make you mad. I can understand how that can make you sad. Sad's a good one. I can understand how that can make you sad. And shut the fuck up. And they're like, yeah, it does make me sad. And let them spiral. Let them ride the ride. Because you're going to listen to them become a victim. You're going to listen to them also become a villain. You're going to listen to them become a hero. And eventually, the ride slowly starts to slow down. Just like any other roller coaster ride. And it comes to its end. And when they get off, who needs to be there to either help them off or to escort them off? Help them off meaning like, hey, give me your hand, let's pull you this way. Or escort you off and like, let me hold your hand and let me let you off first and then I'll get off after you. One or the other. So I can understand how that can make you sad. Yeah, it does. Give them some clarity on their feelings of where they are so they can get clear on how they feel. And then they can now get clear on what the next actions will be if there is one. And then you go, cool. So what is it that you want to do now? And they'll be like, well, I want to do this. And you're like, okay, cool. How can I support you in that next step? Not what do you need me to do? How can I support you doing that? And then she'll say, or he'll say, or whatever it is, or whoever it is that you're talking to, your kids, well, I'm going to do this. You can support me by doing this. And then you go, okay, cool. So let's do that. When do you want to do that? Let me know how I can support that. So now you have a co-creation relationship with somebody, not a codependency relationship with somebody. And here's the deal. That's with them. The initial one that we talked about, having the codependency relationship you have with yourself, is faulty when you aren't clear. Like if your patterns run your life, or your belief systems, your stories, conditioning that you got from a bunch of shit that don't really apply to you and it affects your thoughts and feelings and how you act, and you're arguing with your mind, then that is the same thing. You have to get clear on who you are, how you are, what you want, what you don't want in your life. Then you can hold space for somebody else when you have those daily deposits, right? Within holding that space, you can help them get clear and not be involved in their emotional roller coaster bullshit. And you can take a stand back and you can be a support mechanism for other people. You can lead them to the result that they want instead of have them depend on you to get them there. Because ultimately, like we said, if you save another human being from the strength that they have to gain by going through their evolution, they will turn on you. That's not bullshit. That's the truth, right? There's one Savior in the world, and every time you place Savior in the world, you get crucified by the people who recognize that you are not one, because you rob them of their one God-given ability in this universe, in this planet, and that is their ability to evolve as human beings and become better. And if you are both evolving, then you have a ultimate relationship that you've been able to help someone else foster, even if they're not having and doing this type of work. You are. The tougher shit afterwards is going to be going off and having the tougher conversations that we talked about in the last training. What do you want? What are your musts? Getting clear on your own musts, and then sitting down with somebody else and then having these conversations like, hey, here's where we are. Babe, what do you want? What would be a must for you? And then sit and listen, because this is where this is going to come into place, because they may say some shit you don't like. They're going to say some shit to trigger your patterns. And then you will have a thought about, oh, well, I did this and I did that, and blah, blah, blah. That trigger your feelings, or you're pissed, or you're hurt, or you feel unworthy again. You have to get a handle on this by how? Your daily deposits, being able to hold space, hold the ground, remembering what the true result you are after is for, by effectively communicating to yourself, and then also being able to have an effective communication with them by guiding them on and off the emotional roller coaster without you being on it, even though you're sitting next to them. All right. So this is how I've done it between Sharon and I. This is how I've done it in the past. This is how I've overcome my own patterns about letting other people trigger me to be fucking pissed off when they're talking about something and I make it mean something to me. Because nothing means anything until you make it mean something. And all the shit that you make it mean is usually not the truth. It's from old lessons, stories, beliefs, patterns that you learn from somebody else. But it doesn't necessarily mean it means what you make it mean. All right? And if you don't get clear on those things, you get clear on loving yourself and what you're about and who you are and approve of you, and that you don't need somebody else to approve of you or love you or care about you, or that you don't need somebody else to prove you, deem you as worthy, you can't do this shit. That's what tougher is about. Do the tougher shit. The tougher isn't just the physical workouts. The tougher isn't just the dates. The tougher isn't just money and business. The tougher is the who you have to become to be this tougher human being to get to the next level of play in your life, to overcome these things. This is the champion's way. This is how you win. This is how you succeed. This is how you win it all. It's not them, it's us. All right. So, what's the one big takeaway you took from this thing? What is the one big takeaway for you took from this specific lesson? And what is the one committed action you will take today? Big vision, small steps. Small steps start with clarity. Clarity is power. Power is the ability to act or do. What are you going to do today to begin the next small step after today that leads you to the big thing? Put it in the comment box. And let's go.